this tutorial we are gonna learn about arrays and array lists. Both are different yet same. Well, they store a collection of data. So in this tutorial we're gonna go through what are arrays, how do you use them, what are array lists, how do you use them, and how you read data from arrays or an array list, and how you write data from arrays and array lists, and what are different ways of storing data. Like, what are different ways of getting it from the user, from the user's point of view, actually, to be precise. If we get time, then yeah. So let's start off with arrays. Well, arrays are things that help you to store data inside, and they store a collection of data. So, for instance, if you want to store a list of animals, then you can't have like animal 1 variable, animal 2, animal 3, a lot of string variables, because sometimes you need that dynamic listing. Now, for dynamic listing, what you need is that for dynamic listing you need to have an array, because an array can store 5 items, 10 items, 20 items. So an array is therefore most important. In programming, arrays are required to store lists of data like numbers, IDs, names, stuff like that. Arrays are also used extensively while accessing data from database and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go through about array lists later. So let's start how you create an array. You can have an array of one data type. So you can have a list of string, or you can have a list of integers. You can't have a list of string and integers at the same time. Well, you can actually, but then you'll have to create your own data type, and that's a long shot. So you create arrays by defining them like this. So if you want to create a string array, so you say string, then string, the square bracket, array name equals new string, and in this you and in this you put down the length of your array. So if you want array to be 10 to hold 10 items, then you put 10 and then semicolon. That's it. You now got a blank array of 10 items. So basically your array can hold 10 string values. How can you test it? Well, you feed data into the array. How do you store data into an array? Array name, square brackets, the item number. Well, here is an important point. Arrays are zero based. So an array's first item is item number 0, and array's last item is array's length minus 1. So here array's length is 10. So the last item is the 9th item. So that doesn't mean that your array is holding 9 items. That your array is still holding 10 items, because it holds the first item as the what you call 0th item. So array name 0 is your first item, equals welcome. Yeah. So well, I don't want to store welcome. I want to store lion. Okay. Array name 1, which is your second item, is tiger. Well, array name sorry, I'm just 2, that's your third item, is let's put goat. Array name 3 equals, let's put jaguar. Array name, let's not go any further. Let's just do. So now, as you see, you've got 4 items inside your array, and your rest 6 items are blank. Still blank, because you have defined an array as new string array of 10 items. So let's do it this way, that we are only gonna hold 4 items in your array of 10, because I'm too lazy to type them all. Now, how do you read items from an array? Well, easy, because they are like variables, except they've got the square things which would determine the index of the item. You just say array name. Okay, if you want to read something, well, let's do it this way, that we accept a number from the user saying please enter a number between 0 and 4, sorry, 0 and 3, and the user would type a number like 2 or something, is going to get the index of, and it would get that item from the array. So let's do it this way. Let's accept a string value and put equals, as you know, j option import, yes, j option pane dot show input dialog please input a number between 0 and 4, is it 3? And we're gonna pass the input as a integer, so it's int position equals integer dot parse int input. So what happens here is you're taking the input from the user as a string, which is just getting converted into an integer value. So if your user enters 2, it is a string, and this is going to get converted into an integer if it's 2. Now, we're not going to do anything here. We're just going to say show message dialog. OG no your value. So we're just going to say alright, this is how you get the item from the array. You say array name and square bracket and number, well, basically position and semicolon. So what you are doing here is you are just saying j option pane show message dialog that the item at the provided position, and that's it. So if I say 3, it's going to get me jaguar. If I say 2, it's going to get me goat. And if I say 1, it's going to get me tiger. And if I say 0, you know what it's going to get. So that's it. So that's basically it. That's how you do an array. Let's test this application. Press Shift F6 to run the program. And it's running. I don't know why this is slow. This is embarrassing. Okay. Improves invulnerable in 0 and 3. So I say 3. Jaguar. Okay, Shift F6 again. 2. Goat. Okay. Okay. Now let's do an experiment. Let's do it the way that. Okay. How do you clear an item from an array? Well, easy. You just say array position whatever. Array name 2. Well, if you want to clear item number 2, set 2 equals like this. Or if it's a string, you say no. Well, you can't do this if it's a number. So yeah, just we call just a small warning. Array name equal 2 equals null. That would put the second item as empty. Okay, so let's do it again. Oh shit. Okay, let's go in for. Well, another thing about array is that an array can only be of predefined values. So I could say that I want an array of length 4. You can't have an array of 4 and then you can't add an item to it. So for here, string array name equals string 4, which is having all the 4 values. If I say array name 4 equals hello, can't remember, monkey, it would not show you any errors, but it's not going to work if you run it. So let's run it, and it's going to say array index out of bounds exception. So that means 4 is out of bounds of the array. So in the bound is number 3. 4 is out of bounds because 3, 2, 1, 0, that's 4, which is its length. So you can't have anything more than the length. So you can't have 5, you can't have 6. All you can have is less than or equal to 3. That's the main drawback of an array. However, arrays are very efficient because they hold static piece in the memory. We are going to go through it later, not now. Another point about array is the access times is a lot more faster because it's a static piece in memory and it just can be extracted quickly than any other type of data type or your predefined connection or something. I don't know. Let's do an array of integers. Okay. Okay, do you want to do it? Let's do it. Okay, let's have the same number of thingy, but integers. So if you say int square bracket array int equals new int 4. So array int is a array holding 4 items. and I'm going to do the same thing. However, no, I don't want to do it. ArrayInt 0 equals, now since it's an int, you can only enter numbers, you can't have anything else, so I can say 2. ArrayInt 3 equals 4. ArrayInt 4 you get it right. So it's basically data type square brackets array name equals new data type square bracket and the array length and then semicolon, as usual. That's how we define an array. You can have string, int, float, double, long, or your object. So you can have an array of, I don't know, well, we are gonna what you call cover object orientation later, so for now it's not an issue, but let's not go that further now. Now let's do about ArrayLists. Let's get rid of this code here and let's continue about ArrayLists. Well, the main difference between ArrayList and array is that you don't need to have a predefined size of ArrayList. So I can't say that I need an ArrayList of 3 items. An ArrayList can dynamically contain as many items as you can put. So I can have an ArrayList of string values that can hold 5 values now, and then I can add 2 more values, and I can have 7 later, and then I can add 1 more value, and I can have 8 then. So ArrayLists are dynamic, and they have certain drawbacks against arrays. However, the main positive point of ArrayLists is because that they are dynamic, they can hold a lot of values in it. So I can have an ArrayList. Okay, how you define ArrayList? It's like this: ArrayList, and then data type. Sorry. Name list1 equals new ArrayList string again, and then 2, and this means that the ArrayList is not in the library. It's java.utils.ArrayList, or you hover over it, press Alt Enter, or you just click on this bubble, add import for java.util.ArrayList, and if you see on the top, it should have added one more import. It's a java.util.ArrayList. Okay, so now you have an ArrayList defined in your thingy application. So what you can do is you can say ArrayList1.add, and you can add a string value to it. So list1.add. Well, you must be actually, I mean, if you are me, I mean, yeah, then you must be curious what's between these angular brackets. Now this is called generics, and I didn't know it that time, but now I know. Generic means that you can have a thing of multiple of specified data type. So an ArrayList is of type string here. So yeah, basically it's not that complicated. It's very simple, but we're gonna go through it later because this is not the right time to go about generics and stuff. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's come back from generics to ArrayList, back to the base of ArrayList, and let's continue to know how to add items to an ArrayList. ArrayList are dynamic, as I said. So you say list1. This caps lock, I hate it. List1 dot add. So you add an item to it. Say tiger again. No, last time lion was first. Okay, tiger. So I'm adding tiger to the ArrayList. List1 dot add lion. Sorry, lion. List1 dot add goat. I don't know why do I type goat in this, because tiger, lion, and jaguar are all carnivores, and goat is the prey actually. List1 dot add jaguar. Okay. So now I have 4 items in the list. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow user to input the 5th item into the ArrayList. So let's do this. Let's take input from the user equals j option pane dot show input dialog, and in this I'm gonna type please enter 5th item name. Okay, So well, and you're gonna do list1.add input, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna print out all the elements of an array list. How do you do it? You run it through a for loop. So for int, or you do a for each loop, which is really useful for an array. For string s stored in list1. Oh God's sake! I'm going to define string here. Don't get afraid. This is just being me. Okay. Well, okay. What's happening here is I'm taking an input from the user with the prompt. Please enter fifth item name. I'm adding the received input into the list1 by using list1.add input, and then I'm defining an empty string called msg, which is short for message. Then using a for loop for string s, because list1 has got strings inside it. For string s in list1, so each string s stored inside list1, I'm doing msg plus equals s. So that's appending s into msg. You know what? I think plus this should be really useful. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing msg plus equals s. That's item in the list plus new line. So I'm just adding a new line between each item. So it's gonna have tiger and then a new line, lion, and line, goat. I mean not line. It's gonna be next line. So it's gonna appear as like tiger, lion. I mean not like this actually. It's gonna be like this. Oh man, I hate this. Goat and like this. Okay, so I think you understand now. And it's getting appended here. So it's s plus new line, s plus new line, and all I'm doing is I'm taking everything stored inside this, and I'm gonna show it to the user using javascript.showMessageTitle. So you get it now, don't you? Okay, let's do it then. Press F6, and it's gonna say please enter fifth item name, elephant. Okay, so the contents of my array list are tiger, lion, goat, jaguar, and elephant. So now it's tiger, lion, goat, jaguar, and the fifth one is elephant. So here, as you see, you've dynamically added an item into the array list. Now you can't do this in an array. In an array, if I've said the array is consistent of 4 items, you cannot add a fifth item. You have to reinitialize the array, add all the elements, and then you can add another one. It's a bit complicated. I mean, it's not really complicated, but we're gonna learn about it later because it's not really important now. All you need to learn about is the array list and how they work, really. So that's how array list works. So what we are doing, we are adding items. We are we are writing items inside an array list, and here we are displaying it. We are reading items from the array list using the for each loop. For each string s inside list1, again, for each string s inside list1, this. Okay, so for s1, which is this, s2, 3, 4, whatever, it's just gonna get items from it. If you don't want to use a for loop, the easiest way is to do like this: msg equals list1.get, and you say 0. So that would get you the first item from the array list, and you can say 2 for second, 2 for third, 3 for fourth, whatever. Again, this is 0 based as well, so yeah. And you can't do list1 bracket this because it's not an array, it's an array list. So that's how array list works, and I think we are done here. And yeah, similarly you can access arrays as well, but I prefer to use a for loop for the for int I equals 0, I less than something, I plus plus. I prefer to use that one because it's much more effective in arrays, because arrays are index based, and I have to, and in certain cases you would need to trace the indexes, so it is always better to use a for loop for an array, and for an array list it is better to use a for each loop. Well, it actually depends on the situation, but you can access either of them. You can use either of them depending on your need. So I think that is it for the array lists. Our next tutorial is going to be about error handling and stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good one. Bye bye.